Hey friends, I'm Laura Malone and I'm obsessed with all things coaching. Self-coaching, life coaching, specific niche coaching, all of it. For 20 years, I've been a traveling, homeschooling, full-time ministering, multi-passionate mom who finally decided to take the dream of starting my own business off of that top shelf. I realized that what I'd been doing all my life was called coaching. Then I found out it could be both ministry to those around me and a business blessing. Now I'm sharing everything I've learned over the years as coach, entrepreneur, and imperfect human who's still in process. I'm inviting you to my table laid out with a feast of spirit-led strategies, tangible tools, growth God's way, and clarity about your callings in life. So get ready to become the hero in your own story and an amazing guide to others. And now, enjoy the show. Hey friends, thanks for coming back to the show, the Christian Life Coach Collective. And I want to say I'm outside because I was on vacation in Southern California for 10 days and I literally lived without any air conditioning, and I'm having a hard time readjusting to being inside my house where even at 73 degrees it is still too cold for me. I ended up being sick on vacation and missing my opportunity to publish a couple of episodes last week. So if you happen to notice, please forgive me. And if you didn't notice, which you likely didn't, all I can say is I ended up getting sick on vacation. Had to leave my husband, who could not come on vacation with us because he was sick, and came several days later. And the day before he got there, I found myself sick. And at this moment, I'm still not well, but I really have been dying to get back on the microphone and publish some episodes because I want to talk to you. I've got so many things to say, but I guess God just allowed my brain to actually take a full and complete break because I had planned on vacation to work. I had hoped to work. I had hoped to be inspired and creative and speak to you from a place of vacation. And I probably would tell you not to do that. But I was actually really excited about doing it. And God said, no. I don't know if you've ever experienced getting sick only to find out that it was the best thing for you. I didn't get to do a lot of things on vacation that I wanted to do. I didn't get to wake up every day and go to the water and see the sea lions and do fantastic things because I literally felt like I was swallowing glass and my sinuses were burning. It was pretty terrible, and nobody even knew I was sick because I'm a mom. Literally, my kids, after days, were like, we didn't know you were sick. Of course you didn't. The world just keeps going, and mom keeps going and turning with the world. And then I got home a couple of days ago, and these last 2 days, I have literally crashed even harder. So this is why the Lord tells us to take a Sabbath. I really believe that being sick on my one family vacation in years actually caused my brain to stop functioning because I could work every day, mental work. I'm not a physical labor kind of person, but I could mentally work all day long and be very happy because I love thinking. I really do. I love thinking and I love creating and conceptualizing and possibilitizing, templatizing. I love all of the things. And it's fun for me. But the Lord gave me an opportunity, if I can use being sick for the good, turn it into good. My brain really did have to shut down. I couldn't even tell my kids to get along. I couldn't even micromanage the arguments between 3 teenage girls. I couldn't do so many things. And I actually came across the ability today to kind of be reignited because I really did have a full week to 10 days, not of vacation like I thought I was going to get, but of actual mental Sabbath. And I have to highly recommend it to you. That's all I can say. If you won't do it for yourself, God will allow natural circumstances to take place to do it for you. And I'm not saying that I believe God makes you sick. That's not what I'm saying. But I do believe God turns all things together for good. And I believe his heart for us is health and wholeness. And I believe that he tells us to take a Sabbath for a reason. He understands how he made us, how he made our bodies and our brains to function and to function at their highest level because we rest them. And in our culture, because we have access to just reading another book on Kindle and watching another show and scrolling on anti-social media, whatever it is we have available to us it's just too much. It doesn't actually allow us to rest. So I'm going to encourage you to find a way for yourself to shut down whatever you overuse. And for some of you, maybe you do too much physical activity and your body really needs a break. And for some of you, maybe it's emotional, maybe it's creativity, maybe it's the mental side of things, like it is for me. Maybe you need a break from working out. Maybe you need a break from doing projects around the house and in the yard. Maybe you actually use some of these things because you don't get paid for them. Maybe you use them to buffer, and you actually need to stop using those things because that is part of actual rest. Do you know boredom is actually very good for you? It's one of the most creative places that you can be. And in our culture, because we buffer so that we're not bored, we never really get to experience the fullness of rest. Rest for your eyes, rest for your brain, not just rest for your physical body, as in sleeping or sitting down for a little while, but the actual turning off of all of the parts and pieces that operate all day long. And because we don't get great rest either, this is a great problem for us. So all I can say is that this has been a great learning lesson for me, because I could keep going, keep coaching all day long. I could keep teaching and creating content all day long. I could keep building programs and courses and writing out things to put in books or create templates and PDFs for you. I could do that all day long and enjoy it. But until I'm actually willing to stop thinking, stop overacting at taking action in any form or fashion, and let myself simply just be, without a TV, without a tablet, without a computer, without a phone, without all of the buffering things that are available to us today. My husband is doing this amazing work in our backyard. We bought an above ground pool last year at Academy Sports, their Labor Day sale. They sell all of their above ground pools at half price. So I waited till Labor Day last year at like 11:30 p.m. on Labor Day to actually make this investment. And now we want to put it up, but it means leveling the hill that is my backyard. And because I did not feel good yesterday, I actually sat in the rocking chair on the deck and watched him level the ground and dig up dirt and rocks and roots. And I sat there just staring at him. My body physically couldn't do anything else. I napped, and honestly, between naps, I cried. My body needed an emotional release of all of the things that had been held up. And I've been holding the world up for my people and for myself for such a long time. And you probably, you might recognize that in yourself, especially because as a coaching type of person, a guide and a helper to others, you probably hold the world on your shoulders a lot more than you recognize. And it's really important that you just stop and stare. Be bored. Think about what people used to do when there was no phone to look at, when you had no followers or friends who actually, none of those people are following you anywhere. People really only following you if you're going someplace. So, and they have to be moving too. So I won't be on my anti-social media soapbox right now, but I say that because I don't believe it is social, but I'm not saying not to use it. I just cannot, for the life of me, actually call it social media because I don't believe it's social. I believe it is antisocial, but it still has some purpose in the world, and God will use it, and that's another episode. So right now I'm sitting on my deck and I'm literally staring at the trees, staring at a rocking chair that I will probably move to. I put a fan outside because it's really too hot. So I actually brought a box fan outside because I want to be outside. I don't want to live at my desk. And sometimes I have to be at my desk. But, I realized I had been boxing myself in by saying the only way that I can record a podcast episode is by being in the room where my desk is, behind my desk, in the complete silence, complete quiet. And I realized that I was filtering my life. And I don't want you to think that the only way you can take action and do anything is if you have the perfect setup. A plane just flew over my head, and I am not going to cut that out of my podcast episode. I live under the flight path of all these wonderful people flying into my great city. Okay? And I have a lot of birds because I literally live on 2 acres of trees. So that means a lot of leaves. It's a quiet neighborhood, but a car is passing by right now. And I can either spend all of my time and energy filtering everything out, or I can teach you what I would coach you one-to-one. I would say to you, do what you can do with what you have. Do the best you can with it. And stop wasting your life trying to cut out the things that seem imperfect, trying to cut out the things that other people will say is less than. Stop trying to be enough all of the time. It is exhausting. This is not a perfect podcast, but this is my way of showing you, look what I did. I actually did something. And there's cars in the background. I could cut those things out. And I do often. I do noise reduction. I take out a lot of things in my podcast episodes. If, the dog starts barking or something. My kid walks in the door while I'm recording an episode. But for this actual episode, I want to say to you, is it possible you could get anything out of what I have to say to you right now without me filtering everything out? Without me expending all my time and energy as I try to teach you how to take imperfect action in your life, imperfect action in your coaching, imperfect action in being an entrepreneur and building a business. I want you to take imperfect action. It is not waiting for perfection. It's just being in process. And action and practice, they create progress. They rarely create perfection, but they do create progress. And I'm further down the road than I used to be. And I'm further down this being a podcaster or a business owner. I'm further down all of these roads just because I'm taking action and I'm doing something without waiting for it to be perfect. And I have to say that all of the life skills that our culture is teaching us, telling us to filter and perfect and weed out and only show the best, at the same time we turn around and try to preach to people that authenticity and vulnerability is are keys to our health. Like it's this weird living in a tension zone. It's this weird culture of, hey, you should be authentically filtered. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's exhausting us. Don't you think? It is really exhausting us. And so I want to encourage you to take a break from all of it, to take a break from the filtering, to take a break from the perfecting, to take a break from buffering, and let yourself sit in a chair and stare off into the distance and see what happens. See if God doesn't reignite something or spark something in you. See if he doesn't inspire you to something that you couldn't have seen if you kept yourself, your mind, and your eyes or your hands busy. The busyness that you are suffering under, it's chipping away at what you're called to. And I think that if you want to coach other people and guide them well, and you want to lead yourself well, you have to learn how to just be at rest. It's part of good self-leadership, and it's what you want your family and the people around you and your spheres of influence and your clients, it's what you want them to see in you. You want other people to see that you are at rest, that you find peace without chasing other people's their photos and their content and their words, without chasing other voices. Just stop and give yourself a break. Give yourself a minute. The next episode that I had planned was all about buffering in your business, and I'm still going to do that. But I really wanted just to share this because this is part of the story I'm living out right now, and that I would tell you to take a break. I would tell you to take a vacation. I would tell you to do things that I didn't actually plan on doing myself. And God allowed me to find a Sabbath in that mental space where I needed it. I thought I was just going to take a vacation from everyday life, paying the bills and cleaning my house. But I was still mentally going to stay in my happy place of creating content and talking to you. But he had a different plan. And he used what my body was undergoing. He used that to show me that I haven't been, what's the right word? I haven't been navigating things well on my own because I've been pushing myself too much, spending too much time thinking. And my work is mostly thinking and producing from the mental realm. So because I love it, I have not been wanting to rest from it. And unfortunately, that means I cannot give you the best of me because I'm not resting at appropriate times. I will find myself sitting in bed working on my computer, and that affects the kind of sleep that I get. It affects the conversation that I could be having with my husband or children in the evening. And I've been doing it because I enjoy it. So are there things in your life that you're using, to bring you, things that you're using to buffer, using external things to create internal experiences? Are you using work or coaching to fulfill you and bring you joy, when in actuality you need to be finding them through the life source of Jesus, the Word, or your significant others in your life? Are you using work or coaching or building your business to fill a void? Are you using it to, be on social media and using that as, to get your little dopamine snacks? Like, how are you using your everyday life situations in ways that aren't beneficial to you? And where do you need to rest? And how can God get your attention so that you can stop and hear him instead of just hearing all of the other voices out there, the books and the TV shows and the news and the anti-social media and all of the opinions and the audiobooks and the podcasts. Literally, how many voices do you have speaking into your life right now that keep your brain from actually taking a break? And how can you proactively shut some of those voices down so that you can experience true rest and peace with the Lord? And how can you find ways to stop filtering your life, but just take action regardless of waiting for perfection? Imperfectly take a step. There's songs out there like love all your perfect imperfections. I don't know what that song is, but I love that part. How can you not love that part? I'm perfectly imperfect? Yes. And I don't even know what that means, really. If you break it down, it's probably completely incorrect to say. But, we get what it means, right? So this is an episode where I'm sharing what I'm going through and what God is speaking to me. And I want to encourage you to take a Sabbath. And sometimes maybe that means once a day for you right now. Maybe it's not, every seventh day. Maybe it's actually every day where you actually stop doing what you're doing at a specific time. What if you took an hour every day? What if you made sure that every weekend you actually take a full day off and you turn off notifications, you put away all devices? What if you got outside in nature? What if you stopped doing work and actually sat down and played some games with your kids? What if you read the Word or something that inspires you instead of binging on Netflix all weekend? Yeah, just what if? What would God want to do? I believe that He's saying, come to Him, all who are weary, find rest with Him. Let Him be the fountain that waters you. Let His voice be the only voice, at least one day a week. Let Him be the one who speaks to you and draws you near and fills you up, friend. I know that He wants this for me, and I believe that this podcast has given me the opportunity to share with you what God is speaking to me in such a manner that if it's for you, you can receive it. If you can hear my voice, you can be encouraged by it. And it's a platform that I can use and have the honor to be able to share with you God's calling and His equipping for your life. And this is going to make you a more successful, more fruitful coach and entrepreneur and a guide to other people by taking a Sabbath. And that is really just entering into the rest. And true rest, His name is Jesus. You don't have to get religious about it and make it anything that requires 24 absolute hours of doing nothing. You just need to enter into the man named Jesus and be with Him and abide in Him and let Him lead you. And know that when you do this, it actually makes you more fruitful in all of the things that you put your hands to every other day of the week, every other hour of the day. So I pray that you are well, and I pray for your family and your business to be multiplied, to experience fruitfulness, health, and wholeness. And I'm excited to see what comes out of this. And I'm excited for you to be able to benefit from whatever it is God's doing in this season of my life, because I want to just be able to turn around and pour it back into you. Until next time, my friend, I've enjoyed sharing this with you, and I hope it blesses you somehow. Are you ready to become a hero in your own story by investing in yourself through life coaching? Are you looking to become an amazing guide to others by becoming a coach or up-leveling your current practice? Then check out sterlingandstonementoring.com to see how we can work together. And don't forget, it's really easy to say thanks if any of this free content has been a blessing to you, just by leaving a quick written review over on Apple Podcasts. And thank you in advance.